There we go. Okay. Okay, so listen, it's 6:02. Let's get going. My name is Reilly, and let's see, sorry about that. My name is Reilly, and I'm the host, which means I let people in from the waiting room. I'm also part of the program, a small part, and you'll see that in a minute. The woman who is the expert and going to be presenting is Sandi Eisner. So Sandi, would you introduce yourself?
Most certainly. So I'm Sandi Eisner, as Mary said. I want to first of all thank you and Steve and Middletown Environmental for inviting me to come out to talk with you tonight about energy efficiency and the home performance program. I am actually on the outreach team with New Jersey's Clean Energy Program on the residential side. And in New Jersey's Clean Energy, we work on clean energy and energy efficiency opportunities for everybody in the state. So I'm going to share some programs with you in a little bit. I also have some videos to show you, but I know Mary wants to talk to you a little bit about the protocols. And if you have questions as we go along, type them into the chat. And at the very end, either Mary or Steve or my colleague Kerri will be posing those questions to me, and I'll do my best to answer them.
Yeah, so thank you. So yeah, so here's my part. We have a somebody who's used the Clean Energy Program. That's me. And here's how that went. I decided I was concerned about my carbon footprint. I had taken my carbon footprint on an app, and I'm concerned about it. So I decided I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to insulate the house. So I called. The name is HOH. And said, can you insulate my house? And they told me about the Clean Energy Program. I was going to do it anyway. So I live in a condo. There's 2 walls in it and the ceiling. And he explained everything to me. They came in, they put insulation into the wall, and it's like this felt stuff. They put a hole in the wall and they blow it in, and it's non-toxic, non-anything. They close the hole up. I had to speculum paint over it, but no big deal. And then they went upstairs and they just blanketed my whole heating system, which means all the heat that comes in and goes out is not heated up in the summer from being in the attic or cooled down in the winter from being in the attic. So yeah. So I was able to save money. I did see a lot of energy savings, about 25%, which is significant considering I didn't change the windows. And the windows really are not good. They're really not good. I was going to change them, but money. So, but what I did find with doing this was that it was quieter. I'm allergic to everything. There were much less allergies. The air is actually cleaner. I had the savings that I told you about. So in general, it's far more comfortable in here than it was before. Now, because of New Jersey Clean Energy, and that this is one of the things I'm really excited about you hearing tonight. And Sandi will tell you, I paid almost nothing. The whole thing was $6,000. New Jersey paid half of that. That's $3,000. So the remaining $3,000 was paid by the gas company. Well, I took out a loan from the gas company, interest-free, for 7 years for $3,000. So that means it's about $50 a month. In theory, that would offset my gas bill, but it really didn't, because it doesn't every month. Some months it really does, some months it really doesn't. But who cares? It's only $50 a month, and I was going to do it anyway. So I'm very, very glad to hear about this and to get all the information. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Sandi.
Okay, well, thank you so much. That's always great to hear. You did the right thing. So sealing up those gaps, cracks, and leaks, that's really much more important actually than switching out your windows. And I'm going to show you lots of pictures. You all are going to feel like you've had an energy audit by the time I'm done with you. But I'm going to share a little bit about all of our programs, but focused on home performance with Energy Star and the energy assessment. Here is a little video to get us started, and I'm going to show you how. And our mascot Chloe will show you the way. if she wants to.
It's time to save, New Jersey. New Jersey's Clean Energy Program is your guide to rebates and incentives that can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars for businesses and residents throughout the state by making smarter energy choices. Start today with an energy assessment. We're lighting the way to a clean energy future. Join in at njcleanenergy.com or call 866-NJ-SMART.
All right, fantastic. So a little background on New Jersey's Clean Energy Program. The program is run by the Board of Public Utilities Division of Clean Energy, and the funding comes from you and I. So everyone in the state of New Jersey who pays a utility bill to an investor-owned utility like PSE&G, New Jersey Natural Gas, Jersey Central, and so forth, pays a little bit of money called the Societal Benefits Charge into a big pot, and it gets redistributed by the state, about $350 million or so in the form of our programs in rebates and incentives. And the goals are to educate all residents in New Jersey about energy efficiency and conservation and making homes safer, more comfortable, more durable, and of course, to reduce the energy usage and to lower your operating costs. Increasingly important is that the program is also about protecting the environment and lowering emissions. And we do that by using less energy. That helps us meet the governor's goal of 100% clean energy by 2050. The Energy Master Plan was signed into law in 2018 with the goal to have 100% clean energy at that point. And we can get there if we all do our part. So we each do a little bit, and then the state helps us by sort of sweetening the pot, incentivizing, so to speak, in the form of the rebates and incentives for upgrading homes and switching to high efficiency equipment. So some folks are unsure as to how we're going to get to that sustainable future, that 100% clean energy by 2050, and what they can do to help us get there. Well, we all know one thing. As we improve our homes and our businesses, structures in New Jersey and across the country with efficiency programs, code updates, which come every 3 years, higher standards and renewables, the efficiencies will go up. And as that happens, the usage and the pollution for those buildings will decrease. And eventually we'll have energy efficient homes and much lower pollution, emissions, and usage for everyone. So maximizing energy efficiency and conservation are some of the key strategies. So let's take a quick overview of the programs. There are 5 main areas in the whole portfolio of programs. I'll just mention them. Renewable energy, specialized energy efficiency, commercial and industrial, distributed energy resources, and residential, which is where we'll be focused. And then there are 5 main areas as well in the residential portfolio. So we have home performance with Energy Star, warm and cool advantage, energy efficient product rebates, residential new construction, and comfort partners. And today we're going to be laser focused on home performance and the energy assessment, which is a comprehensive whole home approach for existing homes. So as I said earlier, if you do have questions about, about areas inside the scope for today's webinar, but if you have questions about outside the scope of today's webinar, please feel free to reach out after the presentation and we will follow up with you. I did want to mention that on July 1st, a change takes place. Many of New Jersey's clean energy programs will transition over to the utilities, and that includes existing buildings and efficient products, both residential and commercial and industrial. And there's also an expectation of some new programs, a dedicated multifamily program, more financing options, and a quick home energy checkup with that transition. And some of those programs will be staying with New Jersey's Clean Energy Program there on the left side. You can find out more information on the website. I'm not going to go into details because this is kind of news as it breaks. njcleanenergy.com/transition, and there'll be frequently asked questions and information for you on an ongoing basis. So let's get into onto home performance and the home assessment. I want to first mention that the terms home assessment, energy audit, energy assessment, they all refer to exactly the same thing. We are getting away from using the term audit because it sounds like it has something to do with the IRS. So a home energy assessment is the first step to saving energy and money. And it's the first part of the Home Performance with Energy Star program, which we're going to go into a lot more detail about as we go along. So the assessment will help you learn how you use energy in your home, determine where it's being wasted, and prioritize your energy upgrades or your efficiency upgrades, And that can save you from 5 to 30% on your monthly energy bill or more. And that depends on what you have done and what shape your home is in when you start a home performance project. So how do you know if a home is a candidate for an energy audit in a home performance project? Well, Mary mentioned some things, the allergies and things like that. Here are some symptoms that will give you a clue. Warm and cool spots throughout the home, drafts, moisture on the windows. That could mean the home has leaky windows, but it could also suggest excessive humidity that affects the home's comfort. Ice dams on the roof in winter, they're an indication of missing attic insulation and air leakage to the attic. And excessive dust could mean leaky ducts in the attic, and the presence of mold suggests little or no ventilation. So you see, there are so many reasons a homeowner would benefit from home performance assessment and that work that they do in the home, in addition to wanting lower energy bills. And problems like these could mean that your home isn't working the way it should. So a contractor participating in home performance can help turn that around. So I'm a visual person, and I always love to show lots of pictures. Maybe you have seen or experienced some of these things in your own home. That excessive damming, which you see on the top left photo, while icicles can be pretty, they indicate oftentimes problems inside an attic as the temperature changes on the top of the roof and the ice thaws and freezes. And condensation on the inside of your windows or that room over the attic that's always hot or cold. There's a picture of nasty mold in the bathroom, and all that could be indications of improper ventilation in your home. So this is a popular cutaway image of a house, and I love this picture. We never really take a good look at it, but it shows all of the systems that a home performance project may deal with. The attic floor, opportunities to upgrade insulation and air sealing, and the air sealing part in that attic we'll talk a lot about that. The air handler and ductwork in the attic, exhaust fans for moisture and combustion gases, appliances, a furnace, hot water heater, and air conditioner. And all of these systems work together and provide opportunities for efficiency upgrades. And that's why it's referred to as the whole home approach. So what is home performance? It's about existing homes and upgrading them to make them better. And it addresses more than just the mechanical systems in the house, but deals with comfort, air quality, health and safety, and energy usage problems. The program uses specially trained contractors who have what's called a BPI, Building Analyst Certification. BPI is the Building Performance Institute, and they set a lot of the standards for the contractors. And the contractors are specially trained in the building science. This is not a do-it-yourself program for a lot of reasons. And there's a lot of oversight in this program. So we make sure that the contractors have the required knowledge, the required licensing, and their work is randomly inspected by the inspection team. So what is home performance? Well, it uses whole house thinking. And that means that the real problems get identified and fixed. Think about it this way. A home performance contractor is like the doctor that's looking at all these systems. He understands, or she understands, that the whole body works best when it works together, and they're working directly with the whole body, not just one little piece of it. So these are many benefits that address some of the symptoms we discussed. And Mary mentioned the dust and allergens. That's a really big one. Eliminating drafts, creating more comfortable home, reducing asthma and sinusitis, eliminating moisture and mold, reducing high utility bills, certainly addressing climate change and creating energy independence are all of the benefits of for homeowners and everyone really of a home performance project. So to participate in the program, you'll select a contractor from our website at this point, but down the line, you'll probably be finding them through your utilities website. You schedule an assessment, and some contractors do charge for the assessment, some don't. They might be part of a utility or local municipality program and charge a small fee. It is an open market, and we don't tell the contractors what to charge. They're going to identify health and safety issues as well as energy improvements, and you'll receive a report which itemizes the contractor's recommendations and what rebate level that you're eligible for. Then you sign an agreement and you do the work. So let's get into a little more detail about the home assessment. And this is the first part of the Home Performance with Energy Star program. So the assessment should be your first step before making energy saving home improvements. as well as before adding a renewable energy system to your home. And I know a lot of times I talk to people and they're very excited about solar, which is great. I come from that industry actually, but once you do a home performance project and you reduce your energy bills, you can have a much smaller solar system in many cases. So some states actually require the assessment before a homeowner can install the solar panels. And we're not going to be talking about solar in this presentation, but if you haven't done it, think first about making your home work more efficiently before adding renewable energy. So the contractor will do a complete visual inspection of the home from the attic to the basement and all around the outside with special attention to opportunities for air sealing and insulation upgrades. And I do have a little video for you later on. It shows you exactly what happens at the assessment. So it's from the Department of Energy, and you'll really be able to picture the whole thing. So the contractor uses special diagnostic equipment to test the combustion appliances, like your heating system, hot water system, and oven. And the testing determines opportunities for upgrades. They'll also do a blower door test, and most will also do thermal imaging. And I'll get into those in just a second. So health and safety is a top priority of the program. The home performance contractor will inspect and test for unsafe conditions in your home. First and foremost, like carbon monoxide from combustion appliances like the furnace, hot water heater, stove, and dryer. CO is the silent killer, so it's a really important thing to make sure that it's not happening in your home. They'll bubble test for gas leaks, as well as checking the venting for bath fans, which should be vented outside, not into the attic, and clothes dryers. So this one has a gaping hole and the combustion gases aren't exiting through the vent. And when discovered, these repairs can be included as part of the home performance work scope and the total project cost. So what's a blower door test? I know Mary probably saw this at her home. Basically, that blower door is a vinyl sheath with a fan and an attached computer, which the contractor attaches typically to the front door. And this tool allows the contractor to find out how leaky the home is and where the leaks are coming from. And if used in combination with that infrared camera, the contractor can show you those leaks. And by showing you, help you to understand the scope of work that the contractor is going to suggest when they've completed the assessment. So the infrared camera, it measures changes in temperature, even in places that you can't see. So that image on the right there, it shows what air leaks and poorly installed insulation look like on a cold day. So the infrared photo reveals what's not visible to your eyes or even a conventional camera. And the purple on the ceiling is missing insulation, and that dark purple there at the window is air leakage. And what a really good home performance contractor is doing is they're being like a teacher, letting you know exactly what's going on along the way during the assessment. And together, the tools are used to as both diagnostic tests, of course, but also as effective demonstration tools, so that you can see what the problems are. So a home performance contractor knows this house has a problem just by looking in the roof. Can you see the difference between the roof on the left and the roof on the right? Well, that's right. The snow has melted off the roof on the left. And let's look inside that left attic. So maybe you might, this might look like your attic. There's some things that are going on up there. There's tons of storage, but very little insulation. And I know you probably can't see that from this angle, but more importantly, the house was never air sealed. And that means that hot air in the house rises and escapes into the attic. And that happens 24 hours a day, all winter long. And the builder wasn't the only trade that didn't do it quite right. The HVAC contractor also made some errors here. He put the air conditioning ducts in the attic, and this causes problems all year round. So in the winter, the heat of the house escapes into the ducts and is lost in the attic. And in the summer, the ducts are warmed by the attic. So your nice cool AC is warmed up by the time it gets to the bedrooms. Is it possible to put ducts in the attic? Absolutely, but they must be installed correctly to perform well. So there are many areas in the attic that can be leaking. And I know this is a really busy slide. I hope you can see all the detail in there, but this looks like most attics in a cutaway of the house. And most attic floors have many unseen connections to the living space below. All attics have some of these, and some attics have all of these. There's the furnace flue or the chimney, plumbing vents, open floor joists and soffits, wiring holes, the attic hatch, and exhaust vents. So with all that hot air rising up through those attic leaks, cold air is entering into the house to replace it. And air leakage can account for more than 20% of the annual heating costs of a typical home and can cause those problems we mentioned earlier, like ice damming in a cold winter, for example. And in addition, leaks throughout the house can bring in pollutants and pollen from the outside. And Mary mentioned that. So reducing the amount of air that leaks in and out of the house through air sealing and insulation is a really cost-effective way to cut heating and cooling costs, improve durability, increase comfort, and create a healthier indoor environment where we've been for 95% of our days. So, excuse me, for those of you who really want to see what happens at the home energy assessment, I have this little video from the Department of Energy, and I'm gonna let that rip just now.
In any season, a leaky home costs money. How do you stop it? It starts with a comprehensive home energy checkup. That's a series of tests and inspections to find out where your house could be more efficient. The end goal is to save energy, save money, and make your house more comfortable. Installing energy-efficient lighting and appliances will help. So will creating a sealed barrier around your house, kind of like putting a blanket around the outside, minimizing the leaks. Upgrading your home to save energy can put anywhere from 5 to 30% of your energy bill back in your pocket. Okay, to get a thorough home energy checkup, you'll need some help from a professional. Look for a home energy technician called an auditor in your area. Now, in this cold weather evaluation, the auditor starts on the outside, looking for problems around walls, joints, and under the eaves. If there's not a tight fit, you're losing energy and money. Next, the technician might head up to your attic to check for leaks on the top of your home barrier. That trap door could be a culprit, letting cold air pass into the house. A big part of the checkup is determining how well the insulation insulates. Insulation should be correctly installed in between all areas of the house frame. That means it needs to be evenly applied and not just jammed into spaces. And of course, if the insulation has fallen down, it's not working. Your energy auditor will inspect the holes where electrical lines pass through. If they're not sealed, they're leaking. Then it's down to the basement. Your furnace and water heater could be wasting energy. The auditor will check to see how energy efficient the furnace is. Furnaces generally lose efficiency as they get older, and it could cost you more to keep yours running than to replace it with a new one. Maybe all you need is a new filter. Some people haven't changed their filter for months, even years. That gunk clogging the filter means your furnace has to work harder to heat your home. If the water heater is several years old, it may not be efficient. And if it isn't insulated, it's also losing energy. Now it's on to the ductwork. The technician will inspect connections to make sure they make a tight fit. They have to be sealed to keep the warm air going where it's supposed to go. If the screwdriver can go in the hole, it means one thing for sure: money is going out. Now for the blower door test. The energy auditor will close all the windows and doors and anything else that lets outside air in. This special fan will depressurize the home. The idea is to suck air out of the house, allowing outside air to rush into the home through all those openings you didn't know about. Okay, so with the windows and doors closed and the fan running, leaks are easy to spot with an infrared camera. In winter, the auditor will scan the interior of the home looking for cold air rushing in. Here, the darker the color, the worse it is. These black spots mean one big air leak. It's an eye-opening experience. For this house, the recessed lighting fixtures are big problems. The auditor will also take a look at the kinds of light bulbs in those fixtures. If they're incandescents, they're using a lot of energy. Warm, compact fluorescents are an energy-saving alternative. So, the home energy assessment reveals ways that energy escapes your home, costing you money. The good news is, you'll have a comprehensive home energy report showing which efficiency upgrades are right for you and where to stop those pesky leaks.
All right. So you probably noticed that they mentioned compact fluorescents. So it's a little dated. We've moved past compact fluorescents to LEDs, much more efficient. So assessments, they don't save energy. They don't save money and they don't solve problems. Why are you going to get one? Well, the retrofit does. And you have to at least get the most important recommended work done to get those benefits. And what does the home performance contractor do to rectify some of the problems he might find in the home? We call that the retrofit. And I can't even stress this enough. People get really excited about getting an energy audit and they have this nice looking report and they have this whole list of things to do. And some people get the report and think, oh, well, maybe I'll do this work myself. Again, this is not a DIY project. You can actually do more harm than good if you don't know the details of building science. So if you are going to get an energy audit, be prepared to get at least some of the work done. You get to choose what's within your budget. And from most important to least important, your contractor is going to help you to make those determinations. So what does a home performance contractor do to rectify some of these problems you might find in the home? Here are some examples. So you're going to see these again and again. Air sealing with caulk and rigid foam board insulation to block the holes that are in the attic floor. So we want to separate the conditioned space from the unconditioned space, and blowing in insulation. There are so many kinds now. This looks like it's blown fiberglass, but another material that's frequently used is cellulose, which is simply treated ground up newspaper, and it's treated with fire and insect retardant. And there are all kinds of new environmentally friendly insulation materials available today, like recycled denim, for example. And a power vented water heater. It is much more efficient and much safer than a naturally drafting water heater. It's safer because it's actually taking the combustion gas right out of the house. And this is a photo of a technician painting the duct seams with mastic to eliminate leaks. So these are some of the things that would be included in the home performance program and be eligible for rebates up to $4,000. We'll get into more depth on the rebates in just a minute, but this is what we call eligible measures. So you have the attic air sealing and insulation, and there are many more than these, but these are kind of like the main categories: duct sealing and duct insulation, mechanical ventilation, qualified HVAC equipment, heating and air conditioning, qualified water heaters, and health and safety repairs. So I wanted to show you a few of those areas a little close in, a little more detailed in the attic, where air sealing and insulation can really help. And this is what unsealed plumbing and wire penetrations look like in the attic. You'll notice that dirty insulation and dust around the electrical fixtures. So you're all gonna run up in your attic now and look, right? But that indicates that air is blowing through. And one of the things that you'll also notice is that the plumber or the electrician or the cable guy, they may make a bigger hole than necessary for ease. But you're left with those gaps and those cracks and those leaks throughout the house. And in fact, if you added them all up in a typical home, and we call that the envelope, it would be the equivalent of having a window open every day of the year. Very wasteful and very costly. And in the retrofit, the technician uses caulk, spray foam, and expanding foam to seal these leaky areas. You can see it depends on where the foam is as to the type they use. Many homes have one or more uninsulated attic hatch. The only thing between you and the attic hatch is that half-inch piece of plywood. And as you can see from that FLIR, that thermal camera image, this is a summertime image. The yellow areas are showing heat radiating down from the hatch, and you're paying to cool that air. Also very inefficient. So when you insulate and air seal the attic hatch, you prevent heat transfer between the attic and the conditioned home, improving energy efficiency, which is reflected in lower heating and cooling costs, as well as better comfort on that second floor. There are many ways to insulate and air seal the hatch, and including commercial products and attic hatch covers. They might contain rigid foam or other insulation and weather stripping. The one in my attic was actually built by the contractor and looks very much like the one on the left. So this FLIR image shows cold air coming through an unsealed attic fan. I don't know if any of you still have those in your house, but those are those big fans that draw the hot air out from the day. And a lot of people still have them and swear by them, but in the wintertime, that air can leak down, and you're paying to heat that air. And the attic fan cover, this is an insulated weather strip cover. They can help in this way as well. And it shows you kind of a picture of what that looks like. So I highlighted some of the major areas in the attic where there are gaps and cracks and leaks, but there are so many other areas in the home that your home performance contractor can consider candidates for air sealing and insulating. Duct work, inside walls, as Mary had those done, I think she said. Crawl spaces, I had that done in my house. Foundation walls, above ground walls, or heated basements, for example. So I'm not going to show pictures and cover all of those today, but those are some others of the other areas, with the attic being the most important. So you'll need to use a program-approved BPI Gold Star home performance contractor through our website to be eligible for these incentives. So if you're interested in getting started right away on a home performance project, you would go to njcleanenergy.com/HP and click on the Find a Contractor button. You enter a zip code and a radius, and you'll get a full list of contractors in your area. And then when the programs switch over to your utilities, it's likely you'll be finding the participating contractors in your utility area in a similar way using the utilities website. And again, I direct you to our website to find out more about that for the future. So on to the rebates. Show me the money. The way it works is that there are 3 different tiers of rebates, and every single home performance project has insulation and air seal. So with tier 2, you'll have that air sealing and insulation and a domestic hot water heater. Every single tier is based on the amount of energy saved to qualify for the rebate. So here, if you save from 5 to under 20%, the rebate is up to $2,000 plus several bonus rebates based on location or income. There's urban enterprise zone, low to moderate income, and affordable housing bonuses. And I'm not going to get into the details of that now either, but you can look those up on our website. And tier 3-1, you have air sealing plus insulation plus one other measure like air conditioning or heating or a boiler or things like that. Energy savings here is between 20 and just under 25%, and the incentive is up to $3,000. And I believe Mary mentioned that that's the level that she received, and there are larger bonus incentives. And then tier 3-2, which is the same type of measures as tier 3-1 with energy savings above 25. And the incentive is up to $4,000 with even higher bonus incentives. And so actually, most of the home performance jobs that go through the program do qualify for those higher rebates. And it all depends on what condition the home is in at the start and what it needs and what you decide to go forward with, your own budget. So when the contractor does the assessment, they'll give you this list I mentioned earlier, the report of what you can do, good, better, best. It should go that way. And you, the homeowner, can choose what work you want to have done. And the contractor will need to rerun the software, which determines what energy savings and that work will create and what incentive that you're eligible for. And there's great financing for home performance. Mary mentioned the 0 interest loan. This is up to $10,000, and that's about $120 a month if you get the whole thing. And if you need a little more money, so if you're doing like a lot of mechanicals, there is a $15,000 loan at 0.99%, still a very low rate. And that ends up being at about $145 a month for 9 years. So you put all this together, let's just say you have a $14,000 project you're doing, you get the $4,000 rebate, you can get the $10,000 0 interest loan. So $10,000 plus the $4,000 rebate, you could conceivably do this project with 0 out of pocket. So super generous rebates, incentives, low interest rates, and you're saving money on your utility bills, as Mary mentioned. So there are additional opportunities for the on-bill repayment, which she mentioned currently. And, this may look a little bit different in the future, but it's, going to be a program that's focused on the whole home. And that's what home performance is all about. So in the next slide, Kerri Lombardi from my team, she interviewed one of our home performance participants, a homeowner just like Mary. And we have another little video about that conversation for you next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kerri Lombardi from New Jersey's Clean Energy Program. I'm here with Peggy from Manchester, New Jersey, who recently had an energy assessment done on her home. So Peggy, can you tell us what it is that made you decide to get an energy assessment?
Sure. I have been involved in energy efficiency for a long time, and I really believe that making a house as tight and efficient as possible is the best way to save energy. My house is a completely electric home, and it's very important to save energy that way.
So what kind of comfort or other issues were you trying to address with the assessment?
So by tightening up the house, it will reduce the drafts, and the ventilation is better. So those are the other things I was looking for, besides reducing my cost of my bill.
And what happened with the contractor? Can you tell us about the process?
Sure. The contractors were very professional. I was very impressed with them. They came and looked over the whole house. They went through the attic and the crawl space and did a blower door test. And really were very respectful of my time and didn't get in the way at all. And I hardly knew they were there.
And so did they provide you with a report?
I got a complete report, a very detailed report, pages and pages, and I went through it all and decided to have all of the work done.
Oh, you did all the work they recommended. That's great. So what kind of changes have you seen in your home's comfort since the assessment?
Well, as I said, so it's much less drafty, so it takes care of all those problems, and the ventilation in the bathroom is just much better, less moisture in the bathroom, and my total energy bill was reduced by 50%.
50%, that's amazing.
Yeah. I was amazed. I didn't expect it to be that good because I started at a pretty low base point. I don't use that as much as a lot of other people do to start, but to have it drop by 50% was I was very happy about that. I also had a mini split installed, which is both for heating and cooling through the program as well.
That's fantastic. So Peggy, are there any other comments you could share with the listeners about New Jersey's Clean Energy Program or the contractors or the program in general?
Yeah, just in general, I think it's an excellent program. Energy efficiency is the place to start. It makes so much sense because we need to reduce the amount of fossil fuels that we're using, and this is the way to do it. Make your house as energy efficient as possible.
Thank you so much, Peggy.
Well, thank you, Kerri Ann, and thank you, Peggy. Before I go on to warm and cool advantage real quick, I just wanted to mention that Peggy had 50% changes in her energy bill, and that's crazy high, which is great. But the main reason she did is she switched out her electric baseboard heating for the cold climate heat pumps, which are super efficient. And, the electric baseboard uses a ton of electricity. So between that and tightening things up, you can get that kind of change to your bill. So I just wanted to mention that for some people, maybe home performance isn't the right fit for you right now. And with warm and cool advantage, you're simply replacing or adding efficient heating, cooling, and hot water equipment in your home. And the rebates range from $250 to $2,000, depending on the efficiency and type of equipment. And there are also those bonus rebates, but they're smaller. They're $200 for low to moderate income, urban enterprise, and affordable housing installations. And check with your local utility for additional rebates and financing. These rebates, will continue, but they will be in a different form when there's the switch over to the utilities. And there is an appliance rebate and recycling program that will continue for Energy Star certified washers, dryers, refrigerators, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and room air conditioners. Your local retailer has discounts on Energy Star certified lighting and WaterSense shower heads, and you can visit the website to find out more about particular equipment. The recycling program pays you $50 to have the older, still working refrigerator or freezer picked up, and we pay you $50 and recycle 95% of the parts. And at the same time, we will also pick up a room air conditioner or dehumidifier for an additional $25. So currently you can schedule the appointment. I believe they're still taking appointments on the website or at 866 NJ-SMART. And if you do live in a multifamily building, we have a bulk appliance recycling program for buildings with 5 or more units. And that is $50 per refrigerator or freezer and $25 per air conditioner or dehumidifier. And please note that the recycling pickups are now contactless, which means your appliances are picked up either outside or in an open garage for safety. Comfort Partners, that's another program. This is a free energy saving program for low-income homeowners at or below 250% of the federal poverty guidelines. And that program, while free, includes an energy assessment. And based on what the contractor finds, lighting upgrades and other equipment, as well as air sealing and insulation on a home-specific basis. So for more information, there's a couple things in here. I'd love to send people to the Clean Energy Learning Center. There's a wonderful tool for anyone looking to learn more about energy efficiency. It has courses and featured content and video, and there is a cool interactive video there where you can click on different things and it will, tell you about the energy audit and also other programs. So you can visit that. That's called the Homeowner Journey, and I believe you're going to be getting a copy of this, so you can, be able to go right there and find it. So for more information, visit us on the website, subscribe to the newsletter and listserv, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And I just wanted to say that there's so many programs for homes and businesses that whatever way you want to save energy, there's a program for you. When you receive a copy of the presentation, you'll also have several additional slides with a whole series of energy saving tips. And I highly recommend you take a look at them, things that we maybe don't think about all the time when you have a chance. So I see that there are a lot of questions. I'm gonna do my best to answer as many of them as I can. And I think, Kerri Ann, are you going to, or Mary, are you going to?
Yeah, Sandy, I'll moderate for you if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Okay, so yeah, you got quite a few questions. The first one is an easy one. Is the $49 energy audit still available?
So some municipalities have $49 energy audits through a program that they, through Sustainable Jersey. That may be available, I don't know. And some of the utilities have the $49 energy audit. Currently, I believe, New Jersey Natural Gas, if you're in New Jersey Natural Gas territory, you can go to their website, look at the Save Green program and see if they have it. That is not directly through the New Jersey Clean Energy Program.
Okay. Next question. I have a finished attic in my townhouse. So the attic ceiling is slanted with 3 side attics. I can see the insulation in the side attics, but not in the ceiling section. Does this work for the energy audit?
That's a good question. So it all depends. I mean, yeah, they do need to do some insulation upgrades, and that's part of the program, insulation and air seal. And so the side walls could be what we call knee walls, and chances are there's an opportunity for air sealing and upgrading the insulation there. And I have seen, and I'm not saying that this will definitely be in your house, but I have seen contractors be able to get into the attic space, even if there's only a small space there, potentially through a finished, a closet or cutting an access hatch. I'm not telling you they're going to cut into your ceiling, but I have seen it done that way, particularly when there's no, when the blower door on the thermal imaging shows that there's no insulation up there and it's important to get some in there. So I would work with your home performance contractor, ask them that question when you call them up. That's how you're going to choose somebody, just like you choose a contractor for anything. This is my situation. Is this something that you can work with?
Great. Next question. Where do we get a list of qualified water heaters?
So that's another good question. So it has to be power vented or heat pump or tankless water heaters with certain efficiency. And there is a location on the website where you can download what's called the efficient eligible measures. So it shows what the specifics of the efficiency for those 3 types are eligible. And there are also rebates for a combination of furnaces and water heaters and boilers and water heaters and all sorts of things. So if we have a way to get a hold of you, we can give you a link to where you can see that on the website, but it is on our website.
Very good.
Maybe you could put the link in the chat.
We'll try. Yeah, we'll try. Yeah.
Okay, next question. How do we know if the caulking / sealant and insulation is non-toxic or green?
Well, that's another good question. So if you're somebody that wants to use only certain types of materials, it's a question for your contractor as to what types of materials they use. And these days you can say, well, thank you very much. I'm going to do a little research on that product. Is it, and you'll find out that maybe it has, there's a special designation for certain types of products that are more safe in the home. The air sealing and the insulation are not going to, the idea is that it doesn't come into the conditioned space. But if you're somebody that really wants certain types of materials to deal with in your home, that's a query for what your contractor is using, because they don't all use identical materials.
Okay. Let's see. I'd like to get an electric hot water heater, maybe on demand. I currently have gas, but I'd like to eliminate natural gas. Is this also covered by this program? The current
So-
electric? Go ahead.
Yeah, so the gas tankless water heaters use less fuel than a regular gas water heater. And that's the reason for putting it in. So the electric ones don't use less electricity per se. So I don't believe the electric tankless actually qualifies. If you're wanting to switch to electric, a really great choice to look into is a heat pump water heater. Those use half as much electricity as a standard electric water heater. They also have the added benefit of dehumidification. Now, it's not right for everyone. Not everyone has a space that they're taller and they need a certain amount of airflow. So it would be a question for your HVAC contractor. But we highly recommend the heat pump technology for electric upgrades from the efficiency standpoint. And also the rebate for those are $750 because they are more expensive.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay.
What you got?
The dehumidifiers are only recycled if you also recycle a refrigerator. That's what that was a comment, not a question.
Yes.
Pardon. Okay.
Yes, you have to recycle a refrigerator or freezer for anything else to come along with it.
Okay, that looks like those are the questions that are in there right now. I don't know if anybody else wants to add any other questions.
Okay,
Yes.
well, that's great. If you do have questions, you can always reach out to us through, the links that we sent you to, and, we can answer them individually. I work with homeowners all the time that need assistance, so I'm happy to help if you need any, direct, specific questions answered.
Could I also share a link to our events calendar so everybody can see what other webinars and trainings we're offering through?
Yeah, sure,
Great.
sure. And the other thing I want to remind everyone is this is being recorded, and Steve, where will they be able to find it?
Anybody, can you hear me? Anybody who did the RSVP will get a link probably the end of the week.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And I see Kerri Ann posted the link for the eligible measures, and that'll take you right to the PDF. And that, those run through the end of June. So we work on a fiscal year, and this year, July 1st, it switches over to the utilities. We don't know exactly what type of changes are going to happen in terms of the specific equipment, but if you need any of that equipment now, this is what it looks like.
You know what? That link to the events calendar didn't put the link in, so I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, in the meantime, do you know why they're switching to the utilities? That seems to be putting the fox in charge of the hen house.
So because of the Clean Energy Master Plan, the utilities are required to, both the gas and the electric, to reduce the consumption of fuel, and this is law, by their ratepayers. So after a lot of, what do they call them? All sorts of meetings, proposals, they came up with this particular option because they felt that the utilities, the Public Service Commissioner, the Board of Public Utilities felt that the ratepayers were better reached directly by the utilities. They have their contact information, they reach out to them, they have all the data on their usage. So that's my understanding of how it became part of the plan. It's, we really want to increase the reduction of energy use and the adoption of clean energy technologies. And so that was the solution that has come up. So and then there'll be more opportunities for certain types of programs and more people. I mean, you have 14, 15 people here. Just imagine how many people are going to know about home performance with Energy Star and how many people are going to know about highly efficient equipment and rebates available. So, you know, that's the intention. And somebody says here, Steve is asking, do you keep track of people? How many people do the assessment to determine follow through? So as part of, Kerri Ann and I, we both work for Clear Result. Clear Result is an implementer of clean energy programs for states and utilities and boards of public utilities all around the country. And as part of what we do, the energy savings that are calculated by the software that the home performance contractors use becomes what the state uses to determine the reductions. And that is a measure of the success. So there are really, really important milestones and benchmarks that have to be met by all the utilities. And just like they had to be met by New Jersey's Clean Energy Program. And I must say we have met and exceeded them, you know, year over year over year. These programs have been going on since 2006. So it's been very successful. But there are 2 million homes that could use an energy audit. So it needs to be more successful.
Sandi, there's another comment here, though I don't know if we can even really speak to this, but it says, I have JCP&L for electric. I get no communications from them about rebates, incentives, or energy audits. Why aren't JCP&L customers included?
Because JCP&L and all the utilities hasn't switched over yet. So that will start July 1st. And some of the utilities may roll out their programs later, but you will. It's a requirement. So right now there are no rebates from JCP&L, there are no incentives from JCP&L, and there are no energy audits from them. I'm a PSE&G customer where I live, and you know, it's likely they're going to roll out first, but they don't have any additional rebates up to now. And you know, currently Elizabethtown Gas, New Jersey Natural Gas, South Jersey Gas, they actually have additional rebates. So it's kind of like, you know, when you buy from a certain manufacturer, sometimes they have rebates. You know, if you don't buy from a different manufacturer, they don't have rebates. This is going to go all the way across the entire state for all of the gas and electric companies that are investor-owned utilities. And there's going to be some sort of way for the rural electric cooperatives. I have no idea yet what that's going to be, but it's happening. So look for it. You won't be left out, I promise. Shouldn't say I promise, but you won't be left out. I think that is it.
That's it for the questions.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for having us. This has been great. You guys ask fantastic questions. If anything comes up later, you know where to reach us. And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to touch more people.
And thank you.
I'd like to make a little comment that really this is the very basis of what we need to do in the future. We need to reach most everybody and make everything very energy efficient. So I really applaud you for doing this work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We love what we do.
Yeah. Great. Okay, well, listen, thank you, everybody. And Steve, I know you've got a whole week of great stuff. Do you want to say anything about what's coming up the rest of this week?
Oh, gee. We have 4. Yeah, so we have 4 more. Next one is tomorrow, and actually Pat is part of that, and maybe she wants to say something. After that, actually, Pat and I are giving on Wednesday, a talk about why we're doing this in the first place and where the world's going. Thursday, what was the Thursday talk? I lost track.
Sorry.
Oh, Pat has it right here. Yeah, so Thursday is Your Path to Clean Energy and Green Life. That's our talk, actually. So Wednesday is really an interesting talk. 1 o'clock Wednesday, Build Your Own Zero Energy House. And it's a couple that's been working for designing for 10 years, looking at what's possible to have a zero carbon footprint house and lot. So the whole property is zero carbon footprint. So it'll be very inspirational, I believe. Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And then Friday, we have a fellow who's titled this thing Dirt, Sun, and 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds. And he says, how do you combine perfect topsoil, which he has in his backyard? He composts his own stuff. A rain garden, which he has. Maximum solar panels, which he has, I think, 3 different arrays. And 2 Teslas. He has a his and a her Tesla.
Nice.
Fascinating talk.
Sounds great. Yeah. So thank you so much, Sandy and Kerri Ann, for giving this presentation. Steve, thank you so much for making sure that we got this education and bringing them here. And everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm going to get a new water heater, and let's all do something to, save our carbon footprint. Thank
Great.
Perfect.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
you. Okay, bye.
Bye.